no flex. The live is 1 in the 6. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Good morning. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Come on in, smash the like button. I want to get right to the smoke. I got things to do today. Salute to everybody. Darth Cairns. Salute. Super chat early, man. Salute to you, good brother. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna skip the roll call because I want to get to this, but I just, got out of bed about maybe 30 minutes ago. Just got news about Anthony Joshua. Had some sort of car accident in Nigeria, and still not clear on what happened, but I think he survived. Thank goodness he survived. I just saw some video. But did they say 2 people died in that? I mean, that's the news I'm getting. So that's unfortunate. And I'm glad he's okay. If the 2 people that perished in the collision or whatever it was, prayers up to everybody involved, everybody that this is going to affect. Not cool, but it just goes to show you how life could be. 1 minute you're on top of the world, you're making millions of dollars, you won your latest fight, and you're just going home to the birthplace of your parents, and then something crazy happens. Don't I always say count your blessings? How many times you heard me say that? Count your blessings. You get out of bed every morning. Thank God you woke up. People don't wake up every day. You understand? There's a term called mind your business. And if you're not doing, I ain't even gonna preach this morning. If you're not doing the Lord's work, man, you ain't no business doing anything else but mind your own. You understand? So, whatever, man. And speaking of minding your business, that actually plays into what I'm talking about this morning. Annoying in the way. Ishi no kubushi. You know what that means? I looked up on Google. It means stone fist. Ishi no kubushi. Stone fist. This isn't new with this kid in the hand wraps and gloves and everything else. This isn't new. We told you this. But let me explain to you what happened when we told you this. The first time I got news about this guy doing some schmuckery with his hand wraps, it was right before he fought Stephen Fulton. I had one fool thinking that I made it up, and I'm like, you're paying attention to me for the news, but if I say something and you find it, you think that there's a discrepancy, you want to challenge it, look it up yourself. I report the news. The news comes out, and I talk about it, and I give my opinion on the news. I give my opinion on the news. All right? Press. Now you see what you just did right there? I'm not talking about who beats who. We're talking about hand wraps. We're talking about cheaters this morning. That's what we're talking about. That right there, that's how you hijack a conversation, if I let you, but you're not doing that. We're talking about hand wraps this morning. We're talking about cheating in boxing this morning. We're talking about how whenever somebody does something crazy and we talk about it, we become the villains. I had a fool, when I spoke about it, I let this nigga up on the panel Swear to God, he said you, Y-E-W, so you know where he's from. You said that Inoue, I-N-E-W-I-E, Inoue was a cheater, Drew. I said that? Yeah, you said that. You can't prove that he's a cheater. I said, wait. I said that he stacks his raps? You said that. I said, no, Cool Boy Steph said that. They had a whole goddamn press conference in Japan about it. There's articles on it, but, you know, he skipped all past that and just was mad at me. You know why I brought that up? You know why I brought that up? I'm going to tell you. Because people are so aggravated at us and these are knuckle draggers. They're aggravated at us, and they worry about what we do and what we say so much that they don't even do their own research themselves. That's why they worried about, oh, if your fighter loses, how you gonna feel? Don't worry about how I feel. I watch boxing. You win some, you lose some. Don't worry about how I feel. I want the fighters to get in the ring, and I want to see who's the best. That's it. Why are you worried about how I feel? Why are you worried about how the LDBC feels? I want a fair fight, and I want the best to fight the best. What is going on? Why are you worried about how I feel? Why are you worried about that? So this fool got on the panel, and I said, have you researched this? And of course he didn't. He just worried about me, how I feel. What do I say? Do your own research. And if what I do over here aggravates you, Y-E-W, Auntie Jenny, salute, then turn off my program. It's that simple. What are you fighting for? By the way, YN from Hottest Queens, 4 days left. Not letting that go. Anyway. This guy, Inoue, we find out that the way they wrap hands in Japan is legal. Over here, it's called stacking. For those of you that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, let me give you a brief education. Tape, gauze, and then no more tape, that's stacking. There's something in the chemical, once the hand starts to perspire, between the tape going into the gauze, it could turn into a cast. It's just science. That's why it's not allowed. That's why it's not allowed. And guess what? I don't know what it is. It's just a rule. You can't stack. But in Japan, they don't care. Now, I said Cool Boy Steph has a decision to make. You had a whole press conference, you and your team, talking about he stacks his raps, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, well, you know what? You have a decision to make. Either don't fight and get the hell out of Tokyo, wherever you was fighting, and go home and just deal with getting sued and paying money or whatever, or you fight and don't let that boy hit you. Sensei said, don't let that boy hit you. He went in there, and the stack raps had nothing to do with him getting punched in the face. He just got punched in the face. And there went that. But prior to that, he was fighting on ESPN, and you see them stacking the raps. And I'm watching. I said, ain't that stacking? Did the rules change? And I don't know what it was, but Rach calls me, and she said, did you see that? I said, yeah, that's stacking, right? She said, yep. What is going on here? What is going on? And not to mention this dude, when Nonito went over there, they lost his first pair of gloves, and they tried to make Nonito wear his second pair. Y'all know that? Do y'all know that? So when I tell you about these things, when I tell you, yo, man, I don't mess with this guy. Pound for pound number one, nope, not on my list. Y'all go ahead and y'all go drink the Kool-Aid and buy the hype. Y'all don't even know who the hell he's beating up. Y'all don't even know he fought. Y'all don't know this dude Picasso. Now, magically, there was some crap going on in backstage with his raps. He knew he wasn't supposed to stack the raps. They backstage doing it. They got him right, and magically, this guy Picasso that was supposed to be a knockout victim, what happened? No knockout. Wow. Wow. Freedom's March in that super chat. He says the ish they get away with in Japan is crazy. I will not abide the assertion that if they can get away with it in Japan, then they just cheat when you in Japan. 2 fighters died in the same weekend out there. Yo, Freedom's March, brother, they don't want to talk about things like that. They don't. They don't want to talk about that. When I get on here and have conversations like this, notice trolls don't want to come around. What are you going to do? Come on here and tell me how he's not a cheater and I'm supposed to respect his place in the history of boxing? No. You can't say you love boxing and you respect this kid's work ethic, and at the same time, you everywhere cutting down a brother like Devin Haney and laughing at what he went through with the Ryan Garcia situation. Don't talk to me, man. Don't talk to me. You can't tell me you love boxing and you want a fair sport. You don't even care about a fair sport as long as the person getting hurt is someone we root for and support, or the person doing the hurting is someone's bandwagon that you're on. You don't care. How many of these other damn channels that you frequent that tell you what you want to hear? How many lives or videos they put out about the Eddie Reynoso gym? Everybody over there popped, except Andy Ruiz. He got the hell out of there. Everybody popped. Go to your favorite op channel and just put in Eddie Reynoso and see what happens. You'll probably get a 5-minute video, 2 minutes. How many people did a live in depth breaking down everybody? From Canelo to Neary, everybody. And now you got this clown. You got this clown, because I don't fuck with annoying in the way. That's what I call him. Ishi no kubushi, stone fist. He tried to cheat and the commission was right there. They were right there. And they said, yo, he understood. We told him. Let me play this video. You guys are amazing.
And you finish with tape. That's it.
He understood that one. He explained. He understood. But again, he is using the tape.
You can't do that here. You can't do that.
You can't do that here. You think they didn't have this meeting months, days before? Weeks before? You think they didn't have, you think you didn't tell them how you rap in Japan? You can't do that here. And they did it, they tried to do it anyway, and magically he didn't get a knockout.
You can't do that here.
According to what the room meeting
Only
was.
translators, they're not
We need to
understanding.
check with the
He
room meeting.
understood that.
No, de hecho, nada más nos dijeron que era una sola de venda y si querían podían poner nada más una base.
Yeah.
In the room meeting, they have confirmed this.
We talked, you're also there, right? Yeah, you're also there. So we need to do
No, ayer dijeron que solo una y una.
So there's a way, where is it to come there?
We'll get back to that. The stacking is an issue. Sensei, good morning, brother.
Yo, what's happening, man?
This shit.
Morning.
Combos with Cam, salute. And salute to everybody in the chat, man. I just wanted to get started. Started.
You
Just
cooking,
just
man.
aggravate.
I ain't had nothing to say about you. You cooking, man. You rocking. But see what that last point that you made, that this is something that they had gone over. Remember, you don't just show up in Japan, I mean in Saudi, and just do what you do. They've had sit downs, they have committees, they have everything is laid out. So to still try to do something against the rules, remember the guy had to come in there and tell them that they were violating. What I would like to know is, where was Picasso's people? Because somebody's supposed to be in there. Now, maybe it was Picasso's personnel that said, hey, these guys are stacking over here. This is not, we're not accepting this. And then that's what brought the committee person in, maybe. Because see, that we're just looking at the video clip. By the way, that shit is mad what you got up there. Where the hell did he get the damn infinity gauntlet from? What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, I went bonkers.
I was trying not to laugh over the mic, but I'm like, look at that shit. But anyway, God, dog, man. You and BMTV, man. You two brothers. I hope y'all don't ever fall out, because that shit gonna be, you ain't gonna be able to stop the internet from watching that shit. I'm telling you.
Suzuki was the one.
Memes, man.
Suzuki was the one.
But that's no, but seriously, back on track, the committees, they have these conversations. A lot of people don't know that there's a lot of dialogue that goes on with fight camps, promotions, and everything that goes on. Those are the business aspects of things that a lot of people don't know about. And guess what? You sign contracts. And in those contracts are specific details of what you are agreeing to and what you are not agreeing to. This is why some fighters are so willing to go to Saudi, because Saudi is going to enforce rule and regulation. It's up to you to win the fight, but you will have more level playing field there than most parts of the world. And that's just something people are going to have to understand and get with. Now, how long that will last, I don't know. But it will last longer if more fighters invest in it. See, you got people like, I don't even want to bring the guy's name up, but certain people who don't want to go over there because they think it's biased. Hell, you don't think it's biased here? You don't think that when you fight in California, if you're a black athlete, you fight in California, that it ain't stacked against you with judges and everything?
Well, they're benefiting. They're benefiting off of the nonsense. Which is why
when you fight in Texas, you don't think that there's bias in Texas? When you fight in the Midwest, do you think there's not bias in the Midwest? And when you fight on the East Coast, you know what I mean? New York, New Jersey, you don't think that there's bias? Come on, man. Florida, listen, people can try to do all of this and say, but overall, which is why, I say these things. If you stood for what's right in boxing, if you stood up for boxing, this other stuff will fall by the wayside. But you be picking sides of who you like. And who you like might not even be around long. We just got that news this morning that AJ almost wasn't here no more.
That's right.
So you could be liking AJ today and he might not be here tomorrow. This is what I'm saying. So love the sport. Love what's best for the sport. Stop that picking sides crap, because there's only one side, to be perfectly honest with you. And when you're on the opposite or opposing aspect of that, you're on the wrong side. I'll leave that to you to figure out what that means.
And this is why we're having two different conversations. This is why the clowns and buffoons that were in the chat last night, they won't be here this morning talking about the sport because they're incapable. And what do I say about people having to qualify to talk boxing with you. They have to qualify. They have to qualify. And I don't deal with that guy's fan base because you see what it is. You see what it is. We're talking about competition and everything else in a fair sport. And they're talking about, greasy hair and tattoos. That's we're having two different conversations here. I tell y'all the story all the time. Back in the 90s, my dearly departed cousin, I was just saying, hey man, I forgot what year was it? I think it was, let me see, 94, 95. It was probably 97 when Michael Jordan came back and they were on their way to winning the championship. And I said, man, listen, I don't see anybody, taking down the Bulls. I don't see anybody doing it. And here he go, the Bulls is whack. I'm like, no, that's not accurate. I know you don't like them, but here's the reality. They're going to run away with everything because they're just that good. Michael Jordan is just that good. And by the way, sidebar, Stormy, I'm up to 17 disputes. And I've beaten all of them on both channels. 17.
Yeah, I woke up to 7 myself, and I that's why I was a couple minutes late getting my premiere going this morning because I disputed them all and they reversed it.
They released them all.
Yep.
Coincidence? Coincidence is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And then people want to pop up on my channel. That's not a coincidence. But I just want to say that out loud.
Yeah.
To let Miguel and Jerome know that we know, and this is all going into the file. But,
yep. And you just keep that what I sent you on file.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've done the same. So
and they've all been released, all of them. So anyway, you're gonna lose. Y'all gonna lose. But anyway, people have to qualify to have a conversation with you. That's why I tell y'all, you keep it short, you keep it sweet. I'm not in 2026. An unfamiliar coming up here to have a conversation about the topic. I meant what I said yesterday. If I don't know you, you got to turn your camera on and do 30 push-ups. If I don't know you. And then once you do that, you can come up here, you have to talk about the topic. All right? We ain't gonna be cussing and screaming at each other. We're gonna talk about the topic. And if you want some knucklehead nonsense, like this dude, James and Mag 7, I'm gonna show you the door, and I'm gonna block you, because I'm not making room for the foolishness. Y'all seen enough of it. I let y'all know what's going on out here. I let y'all know guys like Mag 7 are not qualified. Guys like James are not qualified. If you can't see what's going on, you can see it, you refuse. And then you take it out on the entire LDBC. You are why Malcolm X is dead. You are why the Black Panther Party was rotted from the inside out. You are the house nigga. You're not Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom wasn't the problem. I mean, we fling that Uncle Tom word around a lot. You're not an Uncle Tom. You know who the problem was? The problem was Sambo. Did y'all know that? Sambo was the problem. It wasn't Uncle Tom. It was Sambo. Read the story. A lot of y'all just hear things and don't know the history behind it. Uncle Tom wasn't the problem. Sambo was the problem. Why do you think we call people Sambos? Why do you think we call Taco Head a Sambo? Look it up. Read it. Fucking ridiculous. Let me read these super chats. Freedom's March, salute. He says, no one excuse Antonio Plaster and Margarito. Yeah, well, you know what? They tried. When that happened, nobody was online. I wasn't online when that happened, but when I figured out what was going on, I was like, oh my God, hell no. Hell no. But they tried. They tried, but when I figured out what happened, I was so mad because I said, man, they tried to execute him in front of his family. HBO put the video up of his wife and kids crying in slow motion in the front row. And I said, man, you know, this is why you got to leave the family home. This was a boxing classic. And then when he tried, we didn't know anything until he got in the ring. We tried to get in the ring with Shane Mosley. And rest in power, brother Nas, he said when he got to the locker room, Margarito was already hitting pads, warming up. He said, wait a minute. I need to see those hand wraps. And they tried to get him out the room. And he told the commissioner, he said, if I don't see those hand wraps, we're not fighting. And he told the commission to do their job. And guess what else, people? The hand wraps were performed when the commission was in the damn locker room. Did y'all know that? Which means they watched it, which means the commission don't know what they're looking at. This is why you're supposed to have people from your team that know what they're doing, that know what they're doing, that know what they're doing. I'm going to say it one more time. That know what they're doing. When I do that for a reason. Watching the damn raps. So brother Nas said, if I don't see those raps, we ain't doing it. They took the gloves off. They cut the raps off. And Nas said when they took them off, one of them hit the ground and it was a thud. And he was like, what the fuck? Then they tried to pick it up and put it in the bag and hustled out the room. And he told the commission, go get those raps. Something ain't right with the raps. The commission retrieved the raps because the commission wasn't doing their job. You got to go in there and tell the police how to do their job. They retrieved the raps. They rewrapped them. It didn't matter because he didn't touch Shane the whole night. And by the way, I spoke to Shane Mosley and I asked him about that face to face. It wasn't over the phone or nothing. I said, bro, what went down on the night you fought Margarito? He was going through a nasty divorce and his wife called him and said, not only are you going to die in a ring that night, but I'm taking all your money and your belts and everything. He got that phone call on fight night, y'all. I'm telling you, there wasn't a fighter on planet Earth that could beat Shane Mosley that night. Because when he wasn't punching on Margarito in his mind, he was punching on his wife. And he almost killed Antonio that night. So he got knocked out and exposed as a cheater. Because when they did the performed the analysis on the gloves, he had a substance in there that formed a cast. And that came out the week after. And then in my mind, I said, wait a minute, that's why Miguel Cotto's face look all bust up. Oh, man. Don't take my word for it. They kicked him out of America. Well, they didn't deport him, but he couldn't fight in America for like a year. He had to fight in Mexico. And by the way, Antonio Margarito is Mexican. I mean, he's American from birth. I think he was born in California. And his family, his mother and father went back to Mexico. But he's American. Just a little gem there. Bob Arum had to go dig him out the gutter and bring him back and pull some strings for him to fight Manny Pacquiao. Bust his eye up. And then he fought Miguel in the rematch with clean gloves. But the KO power vanished. The devastating hurting power that he had vanished. That guy cheated Kermit Cintron 2 times. Who else online is talking about that? When I had Kermit Cintron on my show, go check my resume. Go to my channel and put Kermit Cintron. We had him in the Strong House. He said, man, that man cheated me twice. And guess what? Not one time did anybody say, hey, well, Kermit, that's your fault. You should have somebody in your corner going in there. Sometimes people in your corner don't know what to look for. And Kermit Cintron was like a rising star. You know what Antonio Margarito did? He beat him twice. I remember him hitting him in the body, and Kermit was rolling on the floor. You know how you a kid and you hurt yourself, and you rolling on the floor, and your mouth is open, but you're not screaming for like 5 minutes. That's how Kermit was screaming. I was like, what the fuck? Damn. And it took a few fights. Kermit Cintron, Golden Johnson. He was knocking people silly. Chasing down Floyd. Then you find out this guy's a cheater. Oh, so now it makes sense. No plaster, no KO power. End of. End of. This is ridiculous. Kermit got right on these airwaves and said, yeah, that dude, he got me twice. And nobody told him, hey, man, that's your fault. You should have people protecting you. Well, to a degree, that's true. But no one said that. You know who they said that to, though? They said it to Deontay. Because the guys in this camp didn't know what to look for, and they blamed Deontay for that. They didn't say, oh, man. They said, oh, well. They didn't say, oh, man. They said, oh, well. See? But if your favorite fighter gets in there and gets cheated, because that's what this is. It's just cheating. If he goes in there and gets cheated, but it's your favorite fighter, now you got everything to say. You and I are not the same. Oh, Drew, if it happened to fight you, if it happened to Mellow Yellow, you would say, no, I would not. I don't want no fighter going in and getting their life played with. I told y'all about Jarrell Miller. I said, man, I don't like AJ as a fighter, but I didn't want to see you go in there and kill him. He had 4 different peds in his system. What was you trying to do, kill him? Y'all are not honest. Y'all are not honest like me. Kez videos in that super chat salute. He says Canelo tried it against Triple G and Abel stopped it. Oh, you mean this?
He put. He's not allowed to put tape over the heifer, so he's allowed to put a little bit of gauze first, so there's no tape over the skin.
He's stacking. That's what you talked about yesterday. No, I can't have that. No, I cannot have that.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's not gonna happen. No, that's what you talked about yesterday. That's stacking.
No, that's not stacking,
Francisco.
man.
That's exactly what you said
No,
yesterday.
sir. That's not stacking. That's a very light wrap.
I'm gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna file a protest on that.
Go ahead.
Just
Go
so you know
ahead.
that. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Done this about 2,000 times or more. We talked about this yesterday. You even told me that you taught him how to.
I'm flawed that in this day and age, this is an issue. And you know what I know about Riyadh season? And like Stormy said, everything is okay till it's not okay. You know, I mean, for now, they're catching things like this. Y'all don't find it strange that Tyson Fury goes to Riyadh season, gets knocked on his ass by Francis Ngannou, damn near almost lost that fight. I had him winning, but he almost lost that fight. And then has 2 fights with Alexander Usyk, and he loses. There's no KO power. He's not bouncing around. Xavier, look, salute, brother. He's not bouncing around in the championship rounds like he's 115 pounds. I'm gonna put emphasis on it. There's no KO power. There's no KO power. There's no devastating, bone-crushing KO power. You just didn't see it. What happened? I know what happened. But I know, because I'm pointing it out, and I'm the LDBC, you don't want to pay attention to it. And you got your favorite fighters don't want to, well, your favorite fighter, because everybody went over there to get their money, but your favorite fighter don't want to go over there? Let me put a little salt in the wound. The only time I know Mellow Yellow took any kind of real testing, hashtag VADA, was his last fight. And magically, a guy that came up from 130 pounds stood in front of him, punched him in the face, made him take a knee, and he fought to a draw. And it was VADA testing for that fight. Y'all don't want to play with me. I didn't lie just now. That's a fact. That happened. You calling him a cheater? No, I'm saying it's a possibility. It's very coincidental, just like with annoying in the way. Ishi no kubushi, stone fist. They checked those hand wraps. They made him get right, and he went 12 rounds with a guy that y'all never heard of. He won the fight. But is that a coincidence? I'm telling you, I don't think so. Based off of not this last fight, but I know what they did to Nonito. When they landed, his gloves vanished. Then they tried to make Nonito use his spare gloves. That happened. Stephen Fulton had a whole conference. This dude stacks his raps, man. But he fought anyway. So what I'm telling you is that what y'all notice with this is not new. I'm talking about the fairness of the sport. This is not new. I know, but I just be on here talking though, right? Okay, fine, man. Fine. Y'all more annoyed with me. Y'all more infatuated with me pointing this out than caring about the fairness in safety of the sport. It's already dangerous. You guys are a bunch of ridiculous monkeys, bro. I swear to God, man. Go ahead, Stormy.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. No, listen. I've been talking about the necessity of athletes who are lesser needing to be included and to compete. This is just another one of the ways that they found a path for them to have competitive success. If you look at those Japanese fighters, how small are they in stature when you line them up against any Western fighters, even the fighters coming out of Mexico?
Come on, it's like an Ewok versus a goddamn Wookiee.
You know? And when you see that disparaging dynamic of physicality, you notice that, okay, in order for someone to be outstanding, they have to have something a little bit special. Now, if you go back in the sport of boxing to like the 60s or maybe late 50s or something like that, there were guys like fighting Harada and everything who were like world class because he was really good. He was really special. But there have not been a great deal of those guys in that way because, first of all, it takes a certain type of mentality to be a fighter. Now, the Japanese do pride themselves historically on being warriors, samurai, all of that stuff, ronins and everything. However, we're talking about with weapons being a part of what they do. Now, mastery of weaponry could be something that can elevate someone to a certain level and status. But when you talk about the physicality, being able to do it with your hands, then that chops that down, not even in half. It chops it beneath half of consideration for being a participant. What is the highest weight class you've seen a Japanese fighter fight at?
It probably was, if it wasn't 47, it was 54. That dude that fought James Kirkland.
So you're not going to see him at light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. Nope, at all.
You could possibly see a fat one at middleweight.
There was a fat one at cruiserweight, I think, but he was fat as hell.
Right.
The Bridgerweight, WBC Bridgerweight.
Right. So do you understand what I'm saying when
Yes,
I talk
sir.
about those dynamics?
Yep.
So this was one of the ways that they found out. Now, stacking wraps, if you go back to Louis Resto and Panama Lewis and all of that, think about it in this regard. You know how tragic that was, right?
Yeah.
Imagine us stacking and going against the Japanese. No contest. No contest.
It's not even close.
Imagine Muhammad Ali stacking with the abilities that he had. Imagine
if George Foreman was allowed to stack on top of what he was already doing.
Well, see, but I purposely didn't mention someone like him,
right?
Because we know what he does physically. But what
right.
we looked at with Ali had the punching speed of a welterweight, had the ability to move like a lightweight, and was the size and stature of George Foreman, 6'3", 215 pounds. Now he's going to stack too, because remember, in boxing, speed is power.
That's
speed. Right. Ali had, before his run-in with the United States government, he had knockouts, but not from just being a devastating knockout puncher, which when he decided to, he was very accurate with his shots. He could hit you right on the chin, right on the button. And he turned his punches over very well. But the speed and the delivery, you didn't even see the shot. It bang, it hit you, and you're staggered, you're wobbly, and then he's following up with a volley, boop, 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 and the guy's on the canvas. That was scientific. That was something genetic. We later saw it again with guys like Michael Nunn. And then just on the heels of Michael Nunn, we saw Roy Jones Jr. These talents. And I put Michael Nunn in there on purpose because many people don't want to acknowledge Michael Nunn.
That's right.
But Roy Jones Jr. didn't even want to see Michael Nunn in the ring. I said something there that y'all don't know about. Yeah. He didn't want to see Michael Nunn. Because when these men have that type of talent, that's like generational talent. I remember the very first time that I saw Michael Nunn fight in box, I said, wow, this guy, he has Ali-like talent. You know how we say Boots has Roy Jones-like talent? I was saying that Nunn had Ali-like talent. He could move out of the way of punches by pulling away and everything, which is what they don't teach you in the gym. It's something natural that he was able to do. Genetics. And then he could punch you. He could start the punches before he got in range. And they would land on you and you can't hit him back. And when he turned the shots over properly, he was knocking guys out just like Ali would do. It was an amazing thing to watch. So if you're going to stack raps with guys like that, it's no contest. You don't stand a chance. Now, Inoue may be a very good fighter, but if you take the advantage away from him, of which he's enjoyed, which is why he fights staunchly out of Japan, if you take that one advantage away from him, it lessens the effectiveness of what he's able to do. He's closer to ordinary or being pretty good. And the worst part of that is he was doing it against his own people. And any other people that would come there to challenge and fight him. But the more that he has been brought out of his comfort zone, you've seen him look a little shaky.
Yep.
Even just a couple of fights ago, that young man, what was his name? Was it Balderas? Who was that he fought? The guy that had him on the canvas.
The Spanish dude, he fought in America.
Yeah, had him on the canvas, but got a little excited, you know. But someone that's good, they'll keep his ass on the canvas. That kid Picasso was fighting with a lack of confidence. I don't mean confidence in like, oh, I don't think I could win. No, I'm talking about the confidence of you need to think that you can win. Because the playing field had been leveled for him.
Right.
Yeah, he took a couple of solid shots and was like, maybe I shouldn't take the risk. Take the risk, brother. This is a lifetime opportunity. This is why I talk about the coaches and trainers not being what they should and need to be, especially at the top level of the sport, because sometimes you have to get in the ear to touch the heart of your man to be able to do it with his hand.
That's right.
Did Angelo Dundee not get in Sugar Ray Leonard's ear and tell him, you're blowing it, kid?
Sure did.
You got to be stronger. You got to be quicker. You got to take it away from him. And because Ray Leonard, who has confidence, heard those words, it spoke to his heart. It spoke to the nature of who he was as a fighter. And he went out there and he jumped on Tommy Hearns and he took him out. Maybe without Angelo's prepping in his ear like that, he doesn't take the risk, the chance. Because this is the difference between being a rah-rah cheerleader type guy and a guy who speaks to you when you need to hear it. When Andre Ward got dropped by Sergey Kovalev, Virgil Hunter told him, all the greats have been knocked down. This is your moment to get up and get back and get in there. He spoke to Andre in a language that Andre could relate because he wants to be great. Right. So now you've given him keys to a path of the direction to go. Huh? Can you tell me where the championship is? Yeah, you take 2 miles this way and you make a right and there it is. And that's what Virgil gave him. And it was enough to make Andre come back and compete where he got that decision. And once he got the decision, the rematch was a shoe-in because now he knew it is true what they say about the bully. You bully the bully and all of a sudden the coward shows up.
Yeah.
The things that I'm saying right now are not lies, people. It's not stuff that's made up. It's been proven, tried and true through generations. Like I said, this kid, Inoue, he may be very good, one of the best out of Japan in recent memory, but so is the younger guy, the Junto. He's that way too, but you saw him be a little bit more vulnerable because guess what? What he does, he's not doing it with the help of stacking and everything. That's his ability.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved to see him in against the guy that Junto fought. I would have loved to see that guy in there with Inoue. He may have whooped Inoue's ass.
Yep.
He never stopped throwing punches. I think he's still throwing a few.
Yep, right now. Let me say this. Anetao, you pulled up late. He says none of them stacked in the Fulton fight. The couch watched himself. He says, and he redo the raps already and still won. You missed the part. Because see, this is what happens when you show up to class late. You missed the part when I said Stephen Fulton had a decision to make. Now he done had a whole press conference to point out this guy stacking his raps. Come to find out that they legally do that in Japan, so he had a decision to make. Stay and fight or get your ass on the plane and go back to Philly. He stayed and fight. He stayed and fought. And hand wraps or not, Inoue hit him clean. Hand wraps or not, the Inoue hit him clean and slept him. And that was the end of the discussion. So you missed the part when I said that. And Stormy said that.
And what did I say going into the fight? My breakdown. What did I
say? Leading up to the fight, you can't let that boy hit you. And that boy hit him and slept him. We said that. Hand wraps or not. I just said it didn't matter if Antonio Margarito wrapped his hands against Shane Mosley, because if you watch that fight, every time Mosley's back hits the ropes, he spun over it. Margarito didn't touch him clean, not one good time. So the hand wraps didn't matter. So there are instances in boxing where people can cheat or have tried to cheat and it didn't help. But I'm talking about the instances where the person's head movement isn't as up to par, and he's getting touched by these guys. The way Miguel Cotto fought Antonio Margarito was not how Shane Mosley could fight, because that's not his style. He likes to catch punches. But what happens when you're catching punches and it feels like you're getting hit with a goddamn brick? Now, let me address what our brother, the CDB, says. He says, if it's legal in Japan, did Cool Boy stack his wraps too? No. But let me give you this example. I need y'all to follow me on this. Let me give you this example. We're in the room, right? And we're about to fight to the death by way of firearms. There's 2 Glock 19s on the damn, whatever. Pick your gun, whatever your favorite gun is. And it's on the table. And they say, all right, it's 2 guns. This one's yours. This one's yours. Grab it. And y'all do the Lord's work. You say, fine, okay. My hands are faster than Drew's. Okay. I'm like, all right. So the guy says, go. We both grab our guns, and you're a little faster. You pick up your gun because you're a little faster. And your shit jams. I pick up my gun, I work it, and I knock your eyeballs out the back of your fitted cap, and you're done. Now, the people that watched it said, oh my God, well, he had you dead to rights. What happened? And I said, this dumbass didn't take the safety off. You heard me say, I pick my gun up and I work it, and I knock your shit back. Just because both people could stack their wraps doesn't mean the fighter with the stacked wraps knows how to fight with stacked wraps. You have to know what you're doing with that. A firearm is a glorified paperweight if you don't know how to work a gun. It's a glorified paperweight. That's what I'm saying. So Inoue knows how to stack wraps. His team, he's been training to do that forever, probably for as long as he's been fighting. Tyson Fury, that man knows how to cheat. You cannot cheat that guy. All you can do is make sure he has a clean fight. And when he has a clean fight, he looks very normal.
He comes from a family of cheating.
He's a gypsy, and I had other gypsies tell me that.
And let me say this about Peter Fury, which is Tyson's uncle and his dad's brother. He has branched off into, and this is how they do things. He has branched off into being what they would deem over there on that side of the pond, a legitimate boxing coach and trainer, you know, meaning that he's trying to train people from the ground up and everything, and, you know, teach them the nuances of the sport and everything the proper way. But that doesn't mean he doesn't know those other aspects.
That's right.
In that he is practiced, and when they might need to dig into what I call the goodie bag to pull things out to level the playing field when their talent and ability isn't matching. Why do you think that Savannah Marshall has had the successes that she's had, and he's her lead trainer over there in the UK? I've watched Savannah Marshall knock women out like she was a man. And that was the little bit of a concern that was going into her fight with Clarissa, because it's like, man, is she on something? Is she's, you know, because I'm seeing, you know, if you watch boxing and you see stoppages and knockouts, there's certain types of stoppages and knockouts that they're routine. And then you might every once in a while see something that's a little bit different, and you're like, whoa, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? And about 2 fights before she fought Clarissa, she had one of those performances where she hit a woman with a short shot on the inside clean, and it looked like she killed that lady. And I was like, whoa. So then I found out about her rehydrations and things of that nature, which they should also look into Savannah's hand wraps. But I'm saying these things because you need to check all the boxes if you're a competing fighter or working in a camp with a competing fighter. Because when you see these things transpire, they're not anomalies, especially in a sport that has gone on for over 200 years. That's the sport of boxing, 200 years. There haven't been 200 years of the NFL. There haven't been 200 years of professional baseball. There haven't been 200 years of the NBA or hockey. Boxing was and has always been the #1 sport.
That's right.
Because what do they say when you have a dispute? Let's take it outside and settle it like gentlemen.
That's right.
Huh? They don't say, let's go get a basketball and play one-on-one. The first 1 to 10 wins. No, they don't do that.
Fight breaks out over that too. Damn near.
You see? So these things that I say, you know, pay attention to the sport. I tell you all the time, watch boxing. There's a lot to learn.
Salute, Jose. He says, Drew, I've seen people, they stack and they break their wrists. That's what I'm talking about. Fighting with stacked wraps is a skill. You don't just say, oh, you're going to stack, I'm going to stack this fight too. You don't know what you're doing. Remember the gun analogy I just gave you. Just because you can drive, some of y'all been driving since y'all were probably 8 years old, depending on what state you grew in. You know, your uncle put you behind the wheel, you got a lot of land, and you just spin in the car. And then when you get into a teenager, you get your teen license and everything. Does that mean you can hop inside of a NASCAR and race with everybody else? A Formula One?
Didn't Deontay choose to accept a certain type of glove because Fury
broke his fucking hand?
Yeah, he should always fight in what's his best interest. He shouldn't be trying to be on par with what someone else is doing.
Did y'all know that, or did y'all forget? Wilder Fury 3, they were insistent on using a particular glove, and D said, fuck it, you use that glove, I'm gonna use that glove. And you know what happened? Some point in the fight, he broke his fist. See, y'all don't know. See, y'all don't know there's science behind this shit. Science. I'm gonna give you another example. I knew a couple of dudes that went to the Air Force, right? And they were telling me things, they never saw actual combat, but they were telling me some things that to the naked ear, it sounds crazy. Prez, watch your fucking mouth, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is what I'm saying, Prez. See, you appear to be an op, bro. You're doing a lot of funny style shit. You're doing a lot of funny style shit, dude.
Fury got KO'd too, by the way.
Fury got KO'd in round 4.
Fury didn't beat the count in none of his knockdowns.
You never say anything about that. We've spoken about that time and time again. The brother was robbed 3 fucking times. Man, I'm not gonna go there with you. I'm not gonna go there with you. But anyway, my boy's in the Air Force. He said, what do you think you do if you in combat and one of your engine goes, you know, and it catches fire? I said, well, I'm a panic. He said, yeah, I know that, but you know, you have to do what you're trained to do. Repetition. So your engine catches on fire and you start to descend. What do you think you do? And the first thing I said was, well, shit, you got to pull up, right? Because if you're falling, you got to pull up. You're a plane. He said, nope. He said, you're supposed to dive. And I'm like, go towards the ground faster? That don't make no damn sense. He says, yeah, it does. You know why? I said, why? He says, because the wind is going to blow the flames out of the damn engine. I said, what? And then I thought about it and it made sense. The wind is supposed to, when you're diving, you're going down faster, gravity, and you're accelerating towards the damn ground. Now, depending on how high you are, you know, you're taking a chance, but you got to get the fire out of the engine. I said, oh, shit. Damn. You see? I don't know. When you're getting on the highway, you're learning how to drive. And you taking your written exam. You're getting on the damn highway. I remember one of the questions, the answer, it was multiple choice. And it said, what do you do? Slow down, get right away, and then do something else. And then it said, or accelerate in merge with traffic. In your mind at first, because I was a kid, and I'm like, well, you can't accelerate. That's not right. You got to give right away. Right away. That sounds like the educated thing to do. No, you get on the highway, you're supposed to accelerate and join them in traffic. Giving right away, you're going to create a hazard. See, people don't know. They don't know. They don't know. Now, Delano, I'm not giving Cool Boy Steph credit for any of that bullshit in Japan. You know why? Once you realize you was going to be at a disadvantage, he shouldn't have done the goddamn press conference and let the world know, unless he was not going to go ahead with the fight. As soon as he said that, he should have said, man, thank you for coming out. God bless, good night. On some Russell Simmons at the end of Def Jam comedy. He should have packed his shit and say, yo, I'm leaving because I didn't know they did this. I'm not putting my life on the line. Why do the goddamn press conference? As soon as the press conference and the article came out, I did a video on that. I said, yo, get out of there. I said, oh, he gonna stay and fight? All right. I don't like it. And I said that. I said, I don't like it. And he went in there and got knocked out. Hand wraps or not. So what the fuck was the press conference for? So nah, I'm not giving him credit for that, man. He should have brought his ass home. This is motherfucking silly. It's silly.
No, what he should have done is follow the lead of what I suggested. Because we're talking about Stephen Fulton, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. When I said don't let this guy hit you, that doesn't mean like go in there and run around and don't fight and all of that. What that meant was the perception about Fulton going in was that he is a fighter that he's a fighter that can box, and he had good movement, he had quality top level defense, and he could do certain things because of his natural talent and ability. But the fight against Figgy and a couple of fights before that, he was starting to show a propensity to fight outside of himself, like he had something to prove to people.
Right.
But if he had remained solid in the regard of what I was suggesting for him going in, that would be the thing that Inoue can't compete with, because you don't have the natural dynamic athleticism and everything of the black fighter. You have the advantage of having a solid punch, and now we know that some of that solid punching power comes from what he does with his hand wraps. And of course, they were going to stack against Fulton because that was their ace in the hole. That was if I could just nail him, that was what their hope was in this situation. And he went over there and he fought exactly the improper way, outside of, as if he wanted to prove a point.
Right.
the old trainers like Georgie Benton would tell the fighters, win this one, look good the next time.
That's right.
And that means do what you need to do to be victorious. Understand, to go over there and take the man's titles from him, because he was undisputed. You go over there and you take his titles from him. You are now the man. You are now in a position to dictate terms and things of that nature. When you go over there and you so-called let your nuts hang, okay, you could end up castrated because you're in foreign territory. You have nothing favorable for you except for those who are welcoming you back into that corner where your stool is. And sometimes even those people are not 100% down and for you. So you have to have your mind sharp. You have to be prepared to do what's necessary. Now, did Fulton do what was necessary? For about a round and a half. And then something spoke to him that said, this ain't so bad. I can get in there and I can do X, Y, Z, this and that. And another thing, the fighters of today know nothing about the old adage of what Larry Holmes and Joe Louis once used to say quite popularly. You take a guy out to sea and you drown him.
Yeah.
Meaning that the fight doesn't begin until you say it does. However, you have to get to a certain point where fatigue sets in, muscles get tired and things like that, because guys who are looking to get rid of you, they're burning energy and stamina just with the aggression that they bring. I remember when Lennox Lewis fought Mike Tyson. When he came back at the end of the first round, Emmanuel Stewart told him, all of that fierce aggression that he's doing, keep doing what you're doing, tie him up, lean on him, wear him down, because all of that is going to be gone in a round or two. He said, then you'll be able to start doing what you want to do to him. That's Emmanuel's instructions. Because, of course, Tyson came out aggressive like he does, looking to throw the bombs and everything. And Lennox, he said, don't get caught with nothing stupid. He said, tie him up, lean on him, pull on him and push on, because all of that aggression that he comes out with, fighters don't train to do that for 12 rounds.
Not at all.
They don't. But that's their game plan coming in. So you figure you might even give up a few of the first 4 or 5 rounds. Not all of them, but you figure to give up something to get to where you want to be so you can do what you came to do. That's called ring IQ. A lot of the fighters of today are not showing that. That's why I was very disappointed in Nonito, the way he fought him in their rematch, because, and we had that conversation at the meet and greet. And he was like, I know. I said, yeah, you're saying you know, bro, but you need to put it into action. And I have seen improvement. He has done some things, which is why this most recent bout that he had was disgusting, how the judges decided to do that. But we talked about it yesterday. But I say these things because people need to understand your mind is so important. But when you fill yourself with garbage, understand that there's no value in that. There's no value in that at all. Do you know that most people, whether they're terminally ill, incapacitated to a degree with, some kind of physicality deficiency or whatever, what keeps them going is the strength of their mind. because the brain can subjugate itself to a great deal. Even the Bible will speak of having the heart of a mustard seed, faith the size of a mustard seed. You can move mountains. Now, some people think that that's something that's, oh, it's far-fetched or whatever. But it's not. It's important that people try to get back to using their mind. The mind is the most powerful weapon that you have. The ability to think. You ever seen those people who are able to take a Rubik's Cube and just with a couple of twists and turns, they boom, they figure it out?
It's amazing how they do that.
Dude, I could never do that. I'd be sitting there for hours trying to twist that doggone thing, you know. But the people who are able to do that, do you know that they're thinking on a different level?
A different level.
Might not even realize that, but they are. All of us have the capacity for that, but we don't all have the application to do that. Yeah.
You want to know something that I read in Marvel Comics? When Steve Rogers, the serum somehow got out of his body, but then it got back in. I forget what story it was. But you know what he realized? The soldier serum made him superhuman, obviously. He could run faster, jump higher, bones heal, and things of that nature. You know what he didn't realize? Well, he realized it when he got it back. That same rule applied to his brain, and he didn't even realize it all these years. Mm-hmm. So in other words, the physical aspect he focused on, but he didn't realize that he was also able to think on another level also. He never realized it. You understand? We all have brains. We're all capable. It's what we choose to do. You understand what I'm saying? And
you know, they did show that in the films, but it was so subtle. If you didn't,
I know what you're talking about too. It's very subtle. It's very subtle.
There was one scene in the Avengers. Now, I'm not talking about Captain America, the first Avenger. I'm talking about the first Avengers film. Do you remember when they were having the argument on the deck, right? And they were talking about Loki and all of this stuff that they were doing, right? And Cap left them. And he went into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s vault where they were keeping weapons and stuff like that. And he found some weapons and stuff that S.H.I.E.L.D. had hidden away on the ship and everything. And then he came back and he put that thing on the table. And he said, y'all were taking a little bit long for me. He said, you know.
Yeah.
His consciousness, his mind was like, wait a minute. And he thought for a moment, and that's when Nick Fury was like, well, that doesn't mean, well, he's like, I want to know why S.H.I.E.L.D. is using these type of weapons powered by the cube to make weapons of mass destruction. And everybody looked around and they were looking like a Cap, like, whoa, where'd you get that? You know, but that's what you were talking about.
Right.
His elevated consciousness and everything. And in the first Avengers, it's like when he went as the rescue team and they rescued Bucky, and he came back to the headquarters and he told Howard and Peggy what he was able to see while he was there from recall. And he was telling them, oh, we had these check marks and they got camps here, and there. He was like, I only got
mind was working on another level. He became a genius.
Yeah. And he said I was only able to get a quick look, and Peggy was like, well, that's a hell of a look.
Hell of a look, right. So they was letting you know
that you brought back that information.
Let me address this comment right here from David Park. He says, Inoue so good, people playing mental gymnastics with hand wraps, laugh out loudly. Okay, let's deal with this. David, let's deal with this. And I know you're here, so I'm just going to ask you, all right? Because you wanted my attention. I'm going to give it to you. Is hand wrap stacking a safe thing? It's obviously not. It's not safe. But in Japan, they allow it, and they've had fighters die over there. Okay, so let's go with this. In Riyadh, is it against the rules? Yes or no, David? Yes or no, David? I'll give you a minute to respond because you put this in the chat. Now I'm reading it, and I go through this all the time. When it's a reference to a fighter, that y'all support, and everyone's supporting this kid, and I'm telling you, there's some shit with him, and I'm making the case. All right, it's on video. You can't do this here. It's stacking wraps in a majority of places. Is it illegal? Well, I know if he's probably not going to respond, so I'll help him along. It's against the rules, and he tried to do it anyway. It's against the rules, and he tried to do it anyway. Right there. That tells me everything I need to know about his character and his team's character. They don't give a fuck. This is Inoue. He's on top of the world right now. We don't care. The world loves him. We don't care. Sounds familiar? We don't care that Deontay was cheated. He got KO'd. What was the circumstances? Leading up to Wilder Fury 3. What was the circumstances? Wilder Fury 2. What was the circumstances? Wilder Fury 1. It was a bunch of circumstances, but y'all did not care. Because you hated Deontay. So much for the fact you was going to accept the foreigner, the white man, who existed off of white privilege. Y'all didn't care. And then you're going to tell me that you're trying to talk boxing all of a sudden. Well, let's talk some boxing.
I'll be right back, bro.
Go ahead, brother. Yeah, we all saw AJ. I mentioned that at the top of the show. I'm glad he's okay. I heard his son was in the car, too. And he's okay. I heard 2 people died. I'm glad him and his seed is okay, and prayers up for the people that lost their lives. I said that at the top of the show, y'all. Life is precious. And speaking of life being precious, I talk about the fairness of the sport. And I've been very consistent. I don't like AJ in his boxing career. But I told Big Baby Miller, I asked him, what was you trying to do, man? You had 4 different pads in your system, bro? I wanted you to beat him in a fight, not kill him. I said that to Jarrell's face. That's something you guys will never do if your favorite fighter got caught with his hands in the cookie jar. You would never do that. So stacking is illegal. He tried to do it anyway. Disregard for the rules. What is this sport where we don't have no goddamn rules? What is this sport where people trying to bend and twist and get around the rules? What are we doing? Is it a sport at this point? Is it a sport at this point? Who are you? Who sent you? David, I asked you a question. You're still here. Is annoying in the way that good? Is he that good? Because his raps weren't stacked. And he went 12 with Picasso. His raps weren't stacked. And all of a sudden his pop ain't there. Is that a coincidence? Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. What, he just loses powers? He's not a Super Saiyan anymore? What happened? It's not a coincidence. You want to talk about drinking Kool-Aid? Y'all buying the hype. Y'all are buying the hype. That's what you're doing. In the words of Chuck D from Public Enemy, don't believe the hype. He's not as advertised. As soon as you playing with things like this, they had the meeting. They said, yo, he understood this. We told him he can't do that. They tried to do it anyway. Disregard for the rules. It's the same thing with Ryan Garcia. It was a little bit of Ostarine. Fuck out of here. It was a billionth of a gram. Yeah, that's what you found. If your car runs out of gas and you stuck on the side of the highway, well, according to our measurements, there's a billionth of a gram in here. You know what that means? You're out of gas. But prior to that, you might have had a full tank. How long you been driving? How many gas stations you drove past? We see a billionth of a gram in the gas tank. Why are y'all acting like this? There's a ban list. Oh, well, Ostarine, no, I don't know why a boxer would use Ostarine. What the fuck? Have you read what that thing does? It's for athletes, and it's on the ban list for a reason, but stick to the rules. There's rules for a reason. I love it when people come out of state and they drive in New York. You know what they do when they get here, when they haven't driven here? First time they're in New York, you know what they do? They go to the red light and make a right turn. There'll be a cop right there. Pull over. Oh, I'm not from here, man. I'm from Georgia, man. I'm from Dallas, Texas, man. I ain't know you can't make no right turn on red, man. Well, guess what? You're responsible for knowing the rules and regulations when you drive in this city. License and registration, proof of insurance. Thank you. You can't do that here unless a sign specifies. You can't do that here. There's rules for a reason. Never mind how you feel. There's rules for a reason. You could look at a drug on a banned substance. You be like, yo, why is this here? Don't matter. It's there. What happened to following the goddamn rules? What happened to that? Why are we challenging the rules? These dudes out here breaking the rules. What are rules for? What are they for? Like I said earlier, what if George Foreman stacked his raps? It wouldn't have mattered if Ali was laying on those damn ropes. He'd have felt all those body shots. What happens if Mike Tyson stacked his raps? What happened? Why are we disregarding rules for certain people because you like them? And why are we disregarding the rules for the people that they hurt because you don't like them? You guys don't like boxing. You like people. You like certain fighters. This is why I don't support Inoue. This is why. This is why. Let me ask y'all a question. What if this was Devin versus Norman and this same conversation took place? Devin, it's not tape, Gore's tape. You can't do that. That's stacking. That's stacking. You can't do that. How would my chat look right now? How would my chat look right now? Uh-oh. Prez says Inoue's Inoue the goat man? No, he looks like a fucking goat. Here I'm explaining how this dude is a cheater. And he tried to cheat Picasso. I'm explaining it. And this nigga comes in here and says he's a goat. He's a goat. Prez, I'll see you tomorrow, man. Get out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here. I'll see you tomorrow, bro. You still got a lot of growing up to do, kid. What if that was any fighter that I support? What if there's a Bud Errol rematch at 160 2 years from now? Right? And then this same thing happens. Errol, we told you. Gore's tape, Gore's. Not tape, Gore's tape. That's stacking, Errol. We told you. How my chat look? And you know it's man down over here. But how does my chat look now? Think about what I just said. How does my chat look? What happens if this is Wilder Fury 4? Hey, Deontay, we told you. You can't put tape to skin before you put the gauze on there. That's stacking. How does my chat look right now? Pick a fighter. Pick a fighter that the LDBC supports. Pick them. Pick them. You know what my chat will look like? Oh, you say you don't like cheaters, Drew. What about this? I don't have anybody in here saying, well, Deontay's a great man. Deontay always had knockout power. We know this. Why does Deontay need that? Why does he need that edge over Fury? That's what my chat would look like right now. Inoue's legacy is going to be solidified because of you. Because of many of you knuckle draggers out here. And y'all ignore the facts. I crucified Jarrell Miller just like I crucified Canelo with the clenbuterol. As a matter of fact, do I not talk about all cheaters here? The Reynoso Gym? Who's this fool that popped the other day? Stormy did a whole video on it. I always talk about this is what I do over here. And that one, that slipped under my radar. Stormy brought it to my attention. I was like, yo, what the hell? When I bring up things like this, I have motherfuckers telling me that this guy's a GOAT. Based off what?
I'm back.
Right. He's one of the GOATs based off what? Talk to me about the rules. A lot of you niggas don't even know how to score a goddamn fight. You don't even know how to score a fight. Y'all don't. And again, pick the fighter that we celebrate. Pick the fighter that we support. If that was any fighter that we support sitting there and the commission was saying, hey, Errol, you can't do that. You can't put tape first. Hey, Deontay, no tape first. Hey, Devin, no tape first. My chat would have 300 people in there instead of 140 jumping in my shit. You ain't gonna talk about that? How many times have you done that? But y'all see this little Japanese kid and want to call him a monster, and he's one of the GOATs, right? Do you know they're putting him, and let me read this real quick, because this is what they're doing to you, because I'm about to really hit y'all in the mouth right now. Enoch salutes you, brother. He says Japan doesn't test for steroids, and Yakuza fixes boxing and sumo. Yeah, they also fix Pride. That's why the owner of Pride probably killed himself. Y'all know about that? That dude killed himself. They did no testing over there. All those guys, well, now a majority of those guys was juicing. Ask Quentin Jackson. His dumb ass over there fighting for a paycheck saying, I know I was over there fighting guys juiced up. And then get mad that Devin caught Ryan, and his dumb nigga ass gets on here talking about, oh, well, I never root against Ryan. You don't sue for people for beating you. That's not what the lawsuit was for, you dummy. Man, go focus on your kid and get him under control. Get his goddamn hormones under control. Ridiculous. But anyway, did y'all see how they're comparing Inoue to Larry Holmes and put that number 42 up there? Did y'all even catch that? Did y'all peep that? You youngins, you dumbasses. See, this is how they assimilate y'all. Who are they comparing this kid to? One of the GOATs. And based off of what? Larry Holmes never stacked his raps. Larry Holmes never did drugs. But they got his picture lined up with Larry Holmes. Do y'all even know why? Inoue is, they say, what is he? The first man in, what they say, 42 years to defend the ring title 4 times in a calendar year. Last man to do that was Larry Holmes in 1982 or 83. Y'all know boxing? Y'all know boxing? So they let them stack raps and everything, and they taking this dude from a booger weight and comparing him to a real GOAT like Larry Holmes? And you want to sit here and argue with me? Shut up. Shut up. You don't qualify. They take things that are mediocre and say it's excellent and you accept it. We're in the era of painted fingernails and snatched waist. Every chick got a 18-inch waist and a 50-inch ass. No cardio in the gym. Just on a goddamn squat rack all goddamn day. Get out the way.
Hey, bro, check the private chat.
Okay, I got you, brother.
All right.
All right, brother. Tonight, brother.
Okay, later.
Yes, sir. Y'all don't know boxing. Y'all don't know boxing. They couldn't wait to compare this dude to a black American fighter. And they did it against one of our GOATs. Heavyweights. Pound for pound, Inoue would get his shit beaten by Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes from 83, get out of here. Especially with no motherfucking hand wraps. No concrete hand wraps. You guys gotta be kidding me. They couldn't wait to do that. They couldn't wait. Look it up. Look up what I just said. They couldn't wait to do that. Oh, he done broke a nigga record. Let's talk about it. Then the hand wraps get exposed and we're told to ignore it. This kid, he couldn't qualify to suck Larry's cock if Larry was even like that. With your arched eyebrows. Shut up, man. This is why I don't support. He don't need my support. This is why I didn't bother with Lomachenko. I said, yeah, man, he could fight or not. He could fight, but I'm not going to support him like that. Why, Drew? Why are you hating? I ain't hating. I just know what they're trying to do with him. First pro fight, we were told that nothing like this was seen since Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali. And I said he had one fucking pro fight. And then he fucked around and lost his second one and never ran it back. Remember that? Get it back in blood. Remember that? Remember that? Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't invented yet. Never ran it back. And he got title shot after title shot after title shot. I said, see? He don't need my support. He's white. He don't need it. You're good. Whatever happens with him happens. And what happens? He got exposed. He got exposed. And he never ran it back. Get it back in blood, right? Nobody told him to go fight Orlando Salido again. His team ain't even want him in there. That style's all wrong for him. One thing I say about Loma is that he wasn't a cheater. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, he tried to do some fuck shit to Devin. You remember how he tried to make the Devin fight during Ramadan? Y'all forgot about that? There's all kinds of edges that these fighters try and get in boxing. Y'all don't know the sport. You know what y'all will say? Well, if Devin is that good, why can't he fight on Ramadan? Do you even know what Ramadan is? You know why he tried to get the fight on Ramadan? Do you even know why? Well, Hakeem Olajuwon's Muslim and he played in the NBA during Ramadan. They limited his minutes. You can't eat or drink until the sun go down. Of course he wanted to fight Devin on Ramadan. Y'all forgot about that. Oh, I'm sorry, you hate Devin. You don't give a fuck about that. That's what it is. This anime character goes to Riyadh and tries to cheat some dude that y'all never heard of. And he was told. And he tried to do it anyway. Y'all want to call him one of the GOATs, man? Fuck out of here. Black fighters don't get extended the same courtesy at all. And I get niggas in my chat all the time caping for these dudes. And then call yourselves, nah, I'm not on that. I'm on boxing. Yeah, we told you. This is what boxing's been about. Do y'all know in the 1900s, black fighters, when they were going from city to city, town to town, to fight for titles and defend titles, there was fighters that went into cities where you're on that dirt road and you see niggas hanging from trees by their neck. Dead bodies. You know what that was for? To scare you. Nigga, don't you come in here and win. Did y'all know that? We've come a long way. I know about AJ, Hen Dog. Chat, I know about AJ. I said it at the top of the show. Speaking of AJ, since y'all want to bring him up, why do you think I got so mad at him when he stood in the ring and told Deontay, if you don't concede to our demands, we'll freeze you out? I said, does he even know what that means, to freeze out another fighter? Boxing's supposed to be a fraternity. You're supposed to help your fellow comrade eat, feed the family. You're one fight away from undisputed. You're the A side. What do you mean freeze him out? What do you mean? Oh, you on that bullshit. That was the moment I stopped fucking with AJ. Let alone a black fighter. Your quote unquote brother. That was the moment I stopped fucking with AJ. That right there. I said, you don't even know what he said. How fast did the Usyk fight get made? Right now, he's talking about fighting Fury. But I'm a hater, though. Stop me when I'm fucking lying. I care about the safety of all fighters. And let me be absolutely clear. I'm black first. That don't mean I hate everything else. I'm black first. I understand what Usyk is. That's why I backed off. I said, man, he don't need my overdose of support. He don't need that. Watch how they treat him. Every fight he lost, there was controversy. He didn't really lose well. He didn't run it back with Salido. I literally read his fans saying, oh, he was winning the second half of the fight, so he don't need to run that back. It's always an excuse for certain fighters. With our fighters, we show evidence of wrongdoing. We're making excuses. And it's an LDBC thing. And this be coming from other knuckle dragons. It's like, whoa, what? Oh, the LDBC, the LD. You don't even know why we exist, dummy. What did I just say about black fighters seeing hanging black bodies going into town and you got to fucking defend your title or fight for a title? You in a racist ass town? And fast forward to what they did to brother Deontay. Then I got this nigga from across the pond talking about I'm gonna freeze you out. All we got is us. Can y'all talk to me about the Black Murderers Row? Mellow Yellow fans? The channels you frequent, do they talk about things like this, the history of the sport? No, y'all don't. Y'all so concerned about being anti what we are, which tells me everything I need to know about you. That's why I don't let no Mellow Yellow fan get on my panel and question my blackness. You don't qualify, nigga. You do not qualify, nigga. Hard ER, nigger. You don't qualify. Stupid ass. Nigger. You don't reserve the right to say anything to me. If you ain't got no smoke for this right here, and they already did it, there's a meme right now with him next to Larry Holmes with a stat that y'all don't even know about that stat. Defend the lineal championship 4 times in a year. Hasn't been done since 1983. Larry Holmes was the last person to do it. They took that little stat that y'all wasn't even paying attention to and gave it to this little Japanese dude with faulty hand wraps. Right in your face. And y'all won't tell me he's one of the GOATs. Get the fuck out of here. They love niggas like you. Because y'all not going to check this shit. Here's a fun fact. There's one Latino on this list. Do y'all even know who it is? I know BVO knows. Jose may know. There's one Latino on this list. He was black, but he was Boricua. Who? Let me see who knows. Who's the black Latino on this list? You niggas don't know boxing like you. I'm talking about the haters. You niggas don't know boxing. You don't know. Every time I turn around, some nigga popping, oh, the LDBC, the LDBC. Why are we here? Why are we here? Do you even know? You just started your YouTube channel like a year ago. You didn't want to be in this space 10, 12 years ago. You wanted no smoke with this. The YTBC was fucked up. That wasn't even boxing. That was full-blown clan rallies. Full-blown clan rallies. I couldn't talk no boxing at all until I found a channel called 78 Fight News. And I said, all right, here we go. You couldn't do no live streams or nothing like that. Brother was just putting up videos and I would make a comment and I wouldn't get attacked. Jermaine, salute, brother. Thank you, BVO. The only Latino on this list was Coco Kid. He was black, but he was Puerto Rican. He was Puerto Rican. He was black. Subriel Matias looking guy. But all those guys had to fight each other because it was frozen out of opportunities. And it was wrong. And we had no goddamn outlet. We had no voice back then. So when we get on social media, we are the voice. We're not on here talking about kill Whitey. We're not on here hating on other races. We talk boxing, we talk what's fair. AJ's black, right? But he behaved like an asshole. And when he made that freezing out comment, I said, nah, he lost me forever with that. You lost me forever. Forever. Yeah, BVO, we love the sport, and the sport don't love us back. And we're out here with you know, we find ourselves in debates with fans, come to find out they're anti what we like because they just like being contrary, or they have these love affairs for these other fighters. It's like, wait a minute. I told y'all about my cousin. I got off my topic for a second. When I was telling him about the Chicago Bulls, I said, man, they're gonna run away with everything this year, like it or not. Man, Chicago sucks. That's not true. They're 3 rings up. Jordan took a break for 2 years, and I don't know how long he's going to be around, but they're going to win this year. They ain't going to win. I said, based off of what? Do you know I engaged with in a heated debate with my cousin for like over an hour? And I said, hold up. And I had to stop myself. I said, wait a minute. What's going on here? And I went down stats and how retired players say, no, man, this guy's special. This guy's different. And then, you know, my cousin He took the goddamn conversation everywhere. Oh, Jordan couldn't play in the 70s. Yes, he could. What the fuck? He played in the 80s. The fouls that y'all see right now that are flagrants with suspensions, those are regular. Y'all ever watch the old bad boys play? In the 80s? In 90s? What do you mean? And I'm like, yo, and he took the conversation everywhere, and like a dumbass, I followed him. And I said, wait, you know what? I said, bro, wait, hold on. You don't even watch ball like that. What's to you? I just don't like his face. Huh? Wait, what'd you say? I don't like how that nigga look. You know how you just look at a nigga and you just, wait a minute. I've been arguing with you about ball for an hour, over an hour, and your response is you just don't like his face? You could have just told me that at the top of the hour and I wouldn't have went on with you. Because there's nothing I can say. There's no real stat. There's no real data. There's nothing. Because you don't like the nigga face. Some of you niggas don't even like your own face. I hate my black skin. I hate my wide nose. I hate the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. Looking ass niggas. You will root for everything that's not black just to prove to whoever that you're not on that. I think Lomachenko really beat Devin Haney and again because, man, shut up. Shut up. Shut your mouth. I used to say these dudes ought to be ashamed of themselves, but there's no shame. There is no shame. None. You knuckle draggers have made a decision. Y'all have made a decision. When it comes down to it, I don't trust you dudes. And y'all will say, hey man, I don't care. Yeah, okay. You don't care until you do. Because all of you will get your Negro wake-up call. Every last one of you. I was just watching something, one of these racist groups had some sort of rally. And these niggas, fresh and fit, showed up. And some other nigga with a cowboy hat. And they got to the place, and I heard that they were on the invite list. They got there, and they got escorted out the building. You dumb niggas, you had Nick Fuentes on your show, and you let him say the N-bomb. You let him do that? And y'all laughed about it? And y'all want to buddy up with those people? And you got to that event, and they escorted you out the building. It's on video. I just watched it last night. I said, look at this. Yeah, Myron is not black. You know what? He's worse. You know what? He's like of African descent. In the pictures I've seen of him in college, he's cuddled up with all these white boys. Y'all listen to clowns like that? Y'all listen to dudes like that? The lines in the sand have been drawn. Once you show me who you are, I'm not going to give you an opportunity to physically show me who you are. I'm done. And if you was cool with me and you showed me who you are, you made a choice. I'm cool. We're no longer speaking. Stay away from me. Just stay away from me. I listen to these panels. It's some revealing shit. Before I say I don't like somebody or something, I do research on it. I do research on it. And I form my own opinion on it. There is no excuse for this fucking kid to be stacking his raps, even in a place where he was told you can't do that. And then his team want to argue on his behalf. You gotta be fucking kidding me. The rule states you can't do it. He broke the rules because he felt he had privilege. Because as I said, if that was any one of the fighters that the LDBC reports, if it was any black fighter, you would give him hell. I got another show coming up on Selective Outrage. Selective Outrage. And I'm going to show you something else too. Now, I just showed you Inoue with his bullshit. And we saw Canelo with his bullshit.
And they get respect. So get
Buscar al...
You can't do no bandage and then tape. Finish.
We can do both, but this is absolutely legal.
It's not. Stacking, it's not.
I don't know what this is stacking.
Stack. So bandage tape, no. It's not legal.
No. Well,
okay.
Now if it's not legal in this fight, we can do the other the other way. Don't worry.
No problem.
It's not a problem for me.
Solo que viene a hablar inglés, ¿no?
Le pones un poco de acento.
That was beefy. You heard what he said, right? He told you what stacking is.
DJ parece que sabes algo que no.
In the rules meeting, it was no tape on the skin. Rules meeting.
You heard that, right? No tape on the skin.
No tape on skin.
¿Habéis estado en el...
No, Urchi estaba...
There is no tape on the skin.
I know. And then, so it is bandage, as much bandage as you want.
I know.
Tape, finish.
I know. What I'm using bandage.
What the fuck are we confused about?
Tape.
And then I use tape and then bandage.
And then you're going bandage, tape again. No, that's illegal.
So thank you.
And now we're at Money May.
Too much tape. It's too much tape. He can use too much.
Not in the rules. It says half-inch only. Porous tape.
Tell us about that thing.
Where's that guy?
Somebody gets we got a problem with the tape already. Hold on. We're arguing about the tape. We're arguing about my hands already.
These are the twice as
He got some fucking nerve. But whatever.
thick as the ones we use.
Y'all know his brother was a Nazi? Yeah, fun fact.
We're allowed to go around.
His brother was a neo-Nazi. When you see the Freddie Roach documentary that they had on HBO, his brother was laying in a deathbed. Look at his tattoos. He had the Nazi thunder strikes there. And I know I saw that shit. I said, yo, the fuck? We just, they didn't even blur it out. Nice.
Y'all can use the ones y'all want to use. It's a fire. Everything. The chain, the guard.
Yeah, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. All I want is a fair fucking sport. And I get this bullshit. And if y'all follow Ring Magazine on your social media, go to your Instagram. They have a poster of him there standing next to that, well, you know, a meme with him and Larry Holmes, and they released a fact. All they want to do is compare these dudes to our black fighters. This guy's over there beating up people in booger weights with stack wraps. And I get you knuckle draggers coming up here talking about he's one of the GOATs. Man, you got to be out your goddamn mind, man. You don't recognize what the fuck's going on, man. And they thrive on that. Listen, let me break you YNs down. Your mother is a product of a CIA grand scheme. They took your daddy out the house. Your mama chose Uncle Sam as zaddy over your daddy. And they told her that black men ain't shit. We don't make no money. We're brokies. We don't have jobs. They started doing that in 65, around 65. And it was a long-term plan. Fast forward to 2025, going on 2026, just look on the internet. There's panels of women talking about they'd rather walk around with a stink coochie than to have a man live with them. All these things about divesting. They've been doing that. And then the passport bros pop up, and then they want to say, oh, well, you brokies and no one wants you. You ain't got no game here. No, you hoes created that. Because these dudes are talking about, hey, man, wait a minute. I'm an average dude. I don't have a criminal record. I make about $75,000 to $80,000 a year. There's nothing wrong with me, but these chicks have these high expectations and they fat as hell, and they got several kids out of wedlock. Wait a minute, I ain't got to put up with this. Let me explore my options in other countries. That's what that was about. And the brokies left. You know what happened? Your foodie call left. The dude that paid for your nails left. The dude that was really giving you the time of day, he left. And then you got mad. All of this was a long-term goal of the government. And you sisters was running around eating off the fat of the land rather than having a husband in the house. And now y'all justify it. Made y'all dumbasses go to work. Now it's I could do bad all by myself. You wasn't doing bad in the first place. Our marital rates was higher back then. Americans will tell you if you break up the household, you could break up the nation. And that's why we in the predicament we in right now. Men aren't allowed to lead. Y'all let feminism come through the door. Now, why is it that we treat each other like this? But you know what they just did in China? They banned OnlyFans. Because they said it's American poison. They fucked us up mentally. And they fucked us up physically with this diet and everything else. This rabbit hole goes deep. And it's trickled down into sports. And now they got this little yellow dude from Japan. And they're telling us that this guy has done something that can equate to Larry fucking Holmes. And I got President here talking about he's one of the GOATs. You don't know enough. You don't know enough. And I know you're watching and you're going to try and justify this. You can't, because I know what I know. Everything I said is true. And this is what they do to us all the time. This is why it's so hard for us, quote unquote, old heads to work, because you young niggas think you know every fucking thing. Well, if you knew better, you do better. Because I don't understand how a YN could be working a serious job, making about $30,000 a year, but he owns a pair of $1,500 pair of jeans. Don't tell me what your priorities are. Show me where you spend your money, and I'll tell you where they are. Nothing makes sense. And when I point out the discrepancies, I'm a hater. But you know what? I'll be that. I'll be that. Main bike in that super chat. He says Freddie Rose called Alex Ariza a Jew bastard. You remember when they were about to fight what's his name? Oh shit. Can't think of his name right now. Wait, no, that's gonna bother me. Wait a minute. That's gonna bother me. Come on, man. Damn. Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios. Thank you. He called him a fucking Mexican. Y'all remember that? I was like, what the fuck was that? Why would he say that? He couldn't call him a fucking asshole, a fucking idiot, get the fuck out the gym, fucking dummy. He said, get out of here, you fucking Mexican. I was like, whoa, what's that? You see? And I just told you about his brother with that tattoo, right? I just told you that. Hold on a minute. Man, y'all don't know enough. And that's why I have no patience. If your mama ain't raised you and you're not accepting any counsel from someone that does know, then fine, you ain't got to listen to me, but you also ain't got to be here. Because everything I said about every fighter, I'm not lying. Like I said, when I opened up the panel like a year and a half ago, after the Stephen Fulton shit, I had that dumb nigga from Baltimore come up on my panel. It's always Baltimore. What the fuck? The fuck is going on? Buckle up. You said that Inoue stacks his gloves, and you said, I said it? Yeah, you, as it means, as to say I'm lying. I said, I made it up. I said, hold on, I made it up? Yeah, you made it up. I said, okay, I made it up. People started putting it in the comment section. Read that. I said, can you see the comments? Can you see the chat? I said, there was a whole press conference. Steffens, I didn't know about it until Scooter said it. He said, I said he had a whole conference on it. It's on YouTube. The moment you saw it and you have a problem with everything that I say, because it's the LDBC, we make shit up, right? The moment you found me saying that, why didn't you research it? And I went through the line. I said, okay, so that's done. What else you have a problem with me over? What is the problem, man? What is the problem? In everything he said, I checked him on it. I said, okay, so that's false. What else? Okay, that's false. What else? Look, I understand these niggas just want to talk. But I'm not a counselor, man. Get out my face. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm not raising y'all in 2026, man. I'm saying what I say. If you want to stand on yours, stand on yours. I'm not arguing with you niggas no more. They got this kid's picture next to Larry Holmes' picture now. Because y'all are asleep at the wheel. They've trained you. Y'all have been thoroughly trained. Like the monkeys you are.
Yeah, come on! Yeah, man, come on!
I'm talking about the racial aspect of the sport and how some fighters get surpassed over others, and motherfuckers want to come up here and talk about Deontay got knocked out. They want to come in here and talk about Cool Boy Steph and the outcome of that. That's not what I'm talking about. Pay attention. Let me put it into perspective whether y'all can understand it or not, and I'll leave you with this. What if, because Tank's team already said that they're interested in fighting this kid. What if he goes to 130 or he meets Tank at a catch weight of 132? And for some reason, the PBC or whoever convinces Tank, man, go to Japan, bro. You went to Europe already. Go to Japan. There's more money over there for you. And he gets in there and he starts busting Tank all upside his fucking head. Tank got speed knots. He's been dropped several times with you. And then you find out that his hands was wrapped up and plastered like fucking Antonio Margarito. But it's legal over there. What are you going to do? Oh, give us the rematch in Vegas. Nope, he ain't got to do nothing. Remember? He ain't got to do nothing. He's a Inoue. He got a whole country behind him. Then what? Now, if Tank was on the right side of history, we'd fight for him. But I ain't doing shit for that little nigga. I promise you I ain't doing shit for him. See, when I put it in those terms, it makes more sense now, right? But fuck it. And that's why I say fuck him and fuck all his fan base. Y'all niggas are retarded. And I'm out this bitch, man. Me and Stormy gonna cook tonight. Salute to everybody. Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, Super Chat. And I'm not an annoying in the way fan. Y'all want to buff his nuts. Ichiban.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.